I can't believe that you are back again. Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I always welcome you being here. You can come anytime. I know that this occasion, though, is not something that either of us saw coming 2 weeks ago, and losing our line sister Nicole has it's brought you back to me.
Yes.
But it's I was thinking about when we were in the car earlier, and you were saying, and now there's 26.
Yeah. That just like hit me the other day so hard, explaining to Spencer that I was getting ready to go back out of town again, because we talked last time about the importance of making time for people that are important to you, taking time for yourself. And I had just been here.
Yes.
And we kind of turned around, and it was like, oh, well, it's a tough time.
Yeah, for sure.
But as we did the last time, you know, if you have to go through tough times, I'm looking forward to at least being surrounded by people that I think take care of me, and I try to take care of them. So I was explaining that, oh gosh, you know, now it's 26 of us, and for the other 25 people, you know, as we talked about earlier today, if I can show up, God willing, and I can make it work, then I want to definitely show up. But we talked about that last time, and it was kind of a foreshadowing.
It was. I mean, it really was. To get, you know, to receive that message that she was taking a turn, and then to receive that final message, it was surprising. We just, you know, had no idea that when we were together 2 weeks ago that we would be back here and preparing to head to her celebration of life. I will say, you know, selfishly, that any opportunity I get to spend time with you, I try to make the most of it. And I was thinking about you on the phone the other day. You know, we're texting, and you're like, I gotta figure out what airport to fly into. I gotta do this. I was like, oh, you could check Philly and see what the flight's like, and I could pick you up, and you know, we'll ride together. Which I think it will be a comfort to me to have you, you know, in the car with me, you know, and to, you know, even be able to, you know, on our way home, just talk about it. While I'm not, like with Dion, I'm not at all looking forward to the reason for our travel, but I'm looking forward to seeing as many of the 25 others, or 24 outside of you and I, that will be there. I'm looking forward to being, in a sense, able to comfort each other and be there for each other, and support. So you're right, it's important. The older that I get, I think the more that, you know, I agree with you. We talked about this, the importance of showing up and doing something different, or sacrificing to be there, especially for those that show up on the other side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's funny. I've been thinking about Nicole and how much work she put into our 25th Deltaversary. She worked so hard on that, and really being the catalyst for where you and I are today. And so I just remember, you know, her reaching out and just making sure that things were progressing, and we were getting ready. And I am thankful, because that's the last time that all of us worked together, was the 25th. by our 30th, she was sick again. And while we didn't see that coming with Dion, she was under the weather and, not really wanting to be around a lot of people. And we totally understood with what she was going through. But the 25th was really what kind of kicked things off for us, and being able to spend more time with you, because I missed out because you graduated in '93. After we crossed, you graduated, and it was time for your next phase. So in life and your next chapter. So I didn't get the opportunity to spend time with you then. But I think it's so interesting with women. We grow, we develop, but I wholeheartedly believe that the time that you and I were able to come together and spend that time together, it was for that time. That is when it was meant to happen.
Agreed.
And I think back to then, and I think back to the 25th being great. Then I think back to the next year, to 2019, when we ended up spending the entire weekend together.
Yes. It was fun. And I think about, I guess the last week has just been a week.
Yes.
But I was thinking about how things are not coincidences.
No.
Everything happens when it's supposed to, as the Lord intends. And it was one of the reasons why I posted that picture of Nicole and I in Aruba, because I'm going to Aruba. I'm having I guess what we call the second set of kids.
Yes.
And so it's 2006, and I'm pregnant with Christian. And there's some sort of conversation about Hampton and Norfolk State and something about baggage. And I find out that, there's some people here that have connection to Tidewater. And I'm going, what's going on? And then I learn that it's Nicole's, I think, sister.
Okay.
Sister or brother, or maybe sister and brother-in-law. But long story short, they were like, Nicole is here. Like, really?
In Aruba.
In Aruba.
And I'm in Aruba.
And I'm in Aruba and pregnant. But it was fun. At some point we caught up and we took that picture. And I kept looking through the phone the other night, and I was like, I wonder, is it on my MacBook? Where is it? And I scrolled, and it was the last picture in my photos on my phone. And I thought, that's not an accident either.
No, it's not.
And so I was glad to have it. And, it's one of those memories that, like, 2006, and now it's 2024. And to run into her, of all places, in Aruba, I just thought, and so I'm cherishing that.
Yes.
Right now. And, just listening to the radio, as I told you all, and hearing songs that we're all familiar with, that brought me comfort. It was a tearful moment and a tearful morning, I think.
Yes.
I had a doctor's appointment that day. But I realized that, I am glad that pain is over for her.
Yes.
And I do want to just celebrate the good times,
Yes.
if you will. And so from that perspective, as long as, God has made it able for me to show up, then I'm going to show up. And I feel like, we need that support. It took me until August of this year, which I guess is about 6 months after Dion passed, for me to read through the whole program and just take it all in. But I told you, I felt like, I felt something in that moment when, when I said, I love you and I miss you, Dion. And I've just felt warmth. And, I feel like that just lets me know that they're not gone. They're always with us in our hearts. But it's an interesting time when you realize that people in your age range or
Yes.
bracket are passing for whatever the reason.
Right.
But I definitely, if I can make it any easier for my line sisters in any way, as I felt we did the last time, for me, it was a big statement that we were, as many of us were there.
Yes, I agree.
You know, we were coming home basically to Tidewater, but for us to show up in the numbers that we did, I was very proud of us.
Very proud.
I felt supported in something that's relatively new for me. I haven't lost that many people. As we talked about earlier, we have people who are experiencing memory issues that are very close to us and in our families. And it's difficult, but I just feel like when you know you have that love and support, you know, it helps you to find a way to keep going.
Agreed. Ooh.
It's a lot.
I was about to be like, girl, enough of the heavy. You know, it's like, this is heavy. It is but heavy. Guess what? It's life is heavy. Life is heavy. There are a lot of heavy moments in life, but there are also a lot of really fun moments in life, and you know, and great moments, and you know, we will definitely cherish the memories that we have with Nicole. I know everyone will throughout the years. And cheers to all the memories we have in the future. Listen, you see I'm using the glass you gave me, right?
Thank you.
Listen, thank you. I have used this glass several times in the podcast, and I love it because first of all, you know, I love anything with my name on it, and I told this story before that when I was growing up, nothing had Travita on it. Like, you know, when you went to Busch Gardens or something,
I do know.
I do know. Nothing with Travita on it. So
I understand.
This glass is fabulous, not only because you know my name is on it, the letters are in red. I love the sparkle at the bottom. It's a great size, and so I was like, it's only appropriate that I drink out of a glass that you gave me when you are here in Portia's place. And you know, you were my first line sister to visit Portia's place. So this is a big deal. This is like a monumental moment.
I'm so honored to be the first one.
I really am. Thank you for saying yes to hanging out at Portia's place with me.
I love Portia's place. I've been watching her on YouTube, and I walked in and I was like, oh, I feel teleported into just like, I don't know, like I'm just in Italy or someplace. It's very beautiful, and I was wondering would I ever get to see the inside. So I am happy to be the first person.
Yes, and your second time hanging out in here with me.
Yes, and
so it's cool.
I love it, and I loved our winery trip as well, and I just feel at home. So thank you for having me. I feel very relaxed and at home, and I will come back again, hopefully, for another reason or circumstance. But as long as you all continue to welcome me, I shall show up.
Listen, it's all good. And I've got all the suitcases that you need if you need to. Listen to me, you know how many people I had told that I had to loan you a large suitcase to get back to Atlanta. But listen, it was some good shopping.
It was good shopping. It was tax-free.
Yes.
I feel as a government employee that, you know, it was an awesome treat for me.
Yes.
Not a veteran on Veterans Day, but my sister's a veteran. So I felt like what a fortuitous experience to be able to come and shop and prepare for the holidays. All of my things got back safely. I think I posted that to Facebook, and I was so happy that you know we got to spend that time together. And you know, something my mom and I often do where we you know, travel. I think more so before COVID, but we just would shop and we go to Bath and Body Works and do our different things that we did, and it's just fun to have that good, you know, girl time. Yeah. And what do they call it? Retail therapy.
Retail therapy. Listen,
that
we should be good for a little while. That was
good for a minute.
We good for a while. I'm not gonna lie. can't wait to wear those boots.
These boots are made for walking.
Yes, listen,
That's
I can't
just
wait.
what they'll do. I can't wait to see them.
Oh my goodness. Now let me ask you this: how are things coming with your Thanksgiving plans? Will all the kids? Will all the kids be at the house?
All of the kids should be at the house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say the age. I'm just getting to the point where, maybe in the next few years, I will pass the torch.
I got you.
And I don't care what we eat, because I think ultimately we've warmed up to the fact that, Thanksgiving is really just about being together. So I don't care if it's hot wings
Right.
or Chinese or whatever, something that you like, and
As
just
long as we're
spending time
together.
with family. Now, I am planning to come up with something, a few dishes.
Okay. I got you.
And I think that that's probably necessary, because Christian will be coming home from school this time. And
Okay.
he has already expressed that, he would like to have some things to eat
Oh, of
that
course.
only I could make.
I got you.
Or, it could be the same things that we always have, but,
he's just missing it. He wants to make sure
it's
that
like
you
mom.
have those things prepared. Yes.
Mom makes whatever.
Yes.
So, yeah. So we saw some videos last night of, Thanksgiving's past, and I have to admit the spread was nice and good. There are a couple of them out there on Facebook, so I'll try to do that again, maybe just in smaller portions. But yeah, I think it's definitely, it's a year, I think, that will go down in history, given what we've just spoken about. And we need to just commemorate life's important events, and have those keepsakes of photos and things like that. And just, the things that have been captured over the years and you forget, it's on a phone or, a hard drive or whatever. But seeing those things, it did warm my heart yesterday. And I would definitely like to make more memories. So
I know I was sharing with you before that my family's coming together in Virginia. My aunt wanted to have to make this, really to have this Thanksgiving be like it used to be. When I was growing up, everyone came home for Thanksgiving, and we all went to my Uncle James and Aunt Pat's house. And we would just have a huge dinner, a sidebar. My mom, we would also have to go to my granny's house first, because it doesn't matter, like, we gotta go to granny's house. So we would go, I'm just kind of thinking back on this now. But we would always have to go there first, have dinner, and then come back, because my dad's family they ate later in the day. So we always went over to the house, and it was neat. We were little kids, and then kind of growing up, and bringing a boyfriend or a girlfriend to Thanksgiving dinner for the first time, and just the family all being together. So my aunts really wanted to kind of bring that back again. And while it's kind of being labeled a family reunion, I really think it's more of us all coming together like we used to. And as of the last time I talked to my mom, there's going to be like 65 of us there. There'll be some light family people there, but a lot of my cousins will be there, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of my cousins that I don't get to see often. And it will really be a special time for us to be together. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've really been, also with the holidays, I've really been thinking a lot about wine. So of course I'm not cooking for Thanksgiving because I won't be here. Shout out to our family caterer, Mike, in Virginia, who we love. He's really been our caterer now for like 10 years. Anytime there's something to be done, I'm reaching out to him because he's just the best. And
he is.
Yes. And we certainly enjoyed the spread that he put out for us for our 30th. I thought he did an amazing job. So I'm definitely, I'm thankful for that connection and to know him. So he's gonna be preparing all the food for us. So we just get to show up. So
Yeah.
it's, that's gonna be great.
Mhm.
But I've been thinking a lot about, of course, wines, because I'm always thinking about, wines and wines that will be good, during the holiday season. And so I was thinking, since we were kind of hanging in Portia's place, that we take, that we enjoy a little of this Bartenura. It's a sparkling Moscato Rose. And I will tell you a little bit about it. It's definitely going to be a light rosé wine. I find that it has a really delicate fragrance to it. This is actually the 2020 Piedmont, but I really feel like it's effervescent. The aromas on the nose. Give it a sniff. See what you smell.
Very nice.
It's very nice. I get aromas of, I almost smell a little pear, but it's interesting to say that at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I almost smell a little, almost mandarin orange too with this. But it definitely smells good. It's funny. So this is a sparkling Moscato. Sometimes since they'll call it, a Moscato d'Asti. But this is a sparkling Moscato. And Moscato, of course, comes from the family of grapes, the Muscat. This particular wine is from Italy. But the great thing about the Muscat grapes, and it's, the varieties of them are endless, but it goes back thousands of years. The sweetness typically in a Moscato is not from added sugar, it's actually from the unfermented grapes. So they're so sweet on their own, you don't even have to add sugar to them, which I think is very interesting. And Moscato, actually, rumor has it now that Cleopatra actually used to drink Moscato. There was a wine that was actually called Cleopatra wine. She loved wine. And one of the great varieties was the Muscat. And if history is true, or at least the story is true, they would add honey and spices to the wine to sweeten it, but that she loved it. And it's kind of cool to think that thousands of years ago, Queen of Egypt was drinking Moscato. I think that's kind of cool, right? I think that's kind of cool. So the other really nice thing about Moscatos is it typically has a low alcohol, a low ABV. This one is only 7.2, I think. Yeah, 7.2. So the alcohol, it's not a high content, which is nice, especially if you've been drinking other things during the meal. So, typically when you're talking about a Thanksgiving dinner, you may have a red, a nice Pinot Noir. Sometimes people like to have a nice dry white wine with dinner, but for dessert or with cheeses or something like that, this is, I think, a really great choice. I saw you took, well, I've been sipping the entire time we've been talking, but tell me, what do you taste on your palate when you take a taste?
I really am tasting the pear that we spoke about.
Me too.
And
Me too.
I like that, but I like the fact that it does have the effervescence.
Yes.
I do love Moscato. It's one of my favorites because I like sweet.
Yes, yes.
And,
yes.
I like the blend of this one for sure.
It's really
like perfect.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Bartenura was one of the first Moscatos that I ever remember drinking, and I really enjoyed just their regular. It's a blue bottle, like a royal blue bottle almost, cobalt blue, I would say. And Bartenura, it's a good Moscato. And so I'm really not surprised that this sparkling, Moscato Rosé The bottle is gorgeous. Like, people don't talk about that a lot. But listen, if you're gonna have something out on the table, and it's nice that the bottle is pretty. I mean, this is a great black bottle. The labeling, it's really nice, and it's something that you wouldn't have to keep in the kitchen to just pour and bring the glasses out. Like, it's nice to have this bottle out. It's really not just a great bottle, but it's a great wine. And this wine retails for $14.99. So listen, all the money we're spending on the meal itself, it's nice to have something that tastes so good to enjoy at the end of the meal when you want something light. And then you may have guests that only like to drink sweet wine. So this is definitely something that you would feel proud to serve your guests. You know they would enjoy. The flavor's good. And I agree with you. I taste that pear. It's such a great flavor. And this is just something, again, to serve chilled and to really be able to enjoy when those pies come out. Or, listen, like, because you know, the sweet potato pies, you know, the corn pudding, if you don't have it with the meal, but you have it later, because, you know, just whatever it may be. This is something I think that's really great, and it's a win-win. You know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, even New Year's. Like, I love a delicious brut. I love a dry brut, but everyone doesn't. What a win is this too for like New Year's Eve? If you want to get a few bottles and have something that you'll really drink. So, you know, every New Year's, you know, we'll have something, or I'll have a brut or a champagne, and Jeff is like, ugh. I don't want any of that. But something like this, it would be, you know, it would be good. And I will say, sidebar, my executive producer, who is not a drinker, tasted this and was like, oh, that's good.
It's delicious.
So I think it's a win. Excuse me. I think if you're looking for something, for Thanksgiving like that, I think this is definitely a win. It's delicious. It's the bubbles in it, small bubbles, and it's just delicious. So I'm definitely going to get a few bottles of this for all the holidays. I think Thanksgiving, like I said, Christmas, and definitely a bottle for New Year's. It'll be good. We tend to stay home, but still, like when it's midnight,
you want to celebrate.
I do.
And this is a good one. You did a good job.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me and enjoying it. Right, I love that. So listen, you mentioned we were talking about the kids and being home for Thanksgiving, and then earlier we were talking about careers. What's it been like for you being a working mom, having a really great career and balancing motherhood, you know, to 4 children? What's that been like for you? Over these many years. Because I'm sure, you know, anyone that happens to see this will probably be like, 4 kids? How's that possible?
Oh my gosh.
How's that possible?
You know, the fun part, although I love my big kids as well, the fun part is people normally see the last 2 and they just assume that you're a little younger than you actually are.
I got you.
I have been thinking about that though recently. I think it's a big job. And I'm seeing too now more and more, I think people are realizing it's a big job, you know. I think we talked a little bit before about balance and how do you get it all done.
Yes.
And I think, you know, as you do progress and rack up more and more years on your your career side, you know, you just kind of push forward. I think the important part that I am embracing right now is just I have to be good in order to be good for you. So I need to take care of me and pour into me so that I can pour back into you. And I think you realize as you grow as a parent, it doesn't matter what age your kids are. You know, they still need you.
Yes.
I still need my mom.
I still need my mom,
so,
absolutely.
And I feel blessed to have her. So I feel like when we take care of ourselves, that is a gift to our kids as well. And same for her. When she takes care of herself and does what she needs to do, she's able to be there for me and pour into me, and I can do the same for me. So it is definitely about balance. It's about sometimes taking time to enjoy a good book, have a nice glass of wine, some me time, and so that you can give back. So it's been interesting. It's been probably about 24 years that I have been working for the government. So my oldest is 30, and it just seems like it just flies by, you know. And the youngest, will be 15 in February. So it is a lot. It does get easier, but at the same time, I think we talked before about social media and how difficult that can be to navigate with kids, and you know, taking up so much of their time, and trying to give them a little bit of the old school of go outside and come back when the street lights are on, ride your bike.
It's hard to do that,
because there's so much technology.
But that's important,
So,
it is. You said something that reminded me of something that we talked about, and it's got to be what it is, and that's CHOE, Carla's happiness over everything.
I'm liking that more and more.
Carla's happiness over everything.
I love that we talked about that, because I think too, it's COVID has been challenging. For me, I know I celebrated my 50th during COVID before there were vaccines. And when I say celebrated, I'm really doing air quotes for true, because you couldn't go anywhere and you couldn't do anything. But I did get the gift of a wonderful video, and I will cherish that, I'm sure, for years and years, because that's really what it's all about. You know, people saying that, you know, we celebrate you even during this time of unprecedented difficulty. And so I'm glad to have had that. And I feel blessed that, you know, we're all still here, those that are nearest and dearest to me, because I watched it like everybody else did, and I had such compassion for those people that lost somebody, or somebody was sick, and so I think happiness is definitely paramount. We need to push ourselves to the top of our lists, to make sure that we are getting that balance. It's extremely important.
Absolutely. And it's been so nice getting, you know, a little extra balance in with you being here. I know when you were here before, Jeff was like, it's so nice to see you with a friend here visiting you. This is nice, babe. I was like, I agree. But you're right, it's good. You know, that balance is tough. You know, when we work, when we have children, you know, when we have spouses, when we're daughters and, you know, sisters, and, you know, just again finding that time. But it's so important. We have to find that balance, because when we don't, that's when we get sick. And that's when, you know, things happen when we're not balancing as we should. So it is very important, and definitely all of us, I think, in one way or another, are in the pursuit of happiness. So I agree with you 100%. So it's good. I just thought about this random question I wanted to ask you. If you think back over all of your Christmases, I don't know this thing. It's just random.
It just came to you.
It just came to me. I'm going to ask you this. What was your favorite Christmas gift? At any point, it could have been a toy, it could have been, like, what was that favorite thing that you got for Christmas?
I will tell you, there was a year when the administration changed.
Okay.
From Carter, I'm going to say, to Reagan.
Okay.
And it was a tough time for my family. Both of my parents were government employees, and as the administration closed out, they both lost their jobs.
Wow.
And at that time, I was maybe 12 or coming up on 12, but I was still kind of young.
Yeah.
Even though I was old.
Right. No, but I know what you're saying.
Young in that I probably was still playing with, dolls and
I was still
whatever.
playing with Barbie when I was 12. Stop playing.
That kids,
Yeah.
back then.
Did you have a Barbie with the Jerry curl?
No, I didn't have
I had the Barbie with the Jerry curl.
That sounds exciting.
She was.
Oh,
Barbie, and her hair was almost like an afro / Jerry curl.
Wow.
But Barbie had this curl. Yeah, I did. But go ahead.
I love that celebration of us. But
Yes.
Boy, so they both lost their jobs.
Wow.
And I am not sure how much of that I really understood, but it was a tough Christmas for parents to, play Santa.
Yes.
And there was one thing that I wanted. I don't know if you remember the Pretty Curls doll back in the day. Nice brown doll, and you got to do her hair.
Yes, I
setting
remember.
lotion.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really wanted that doll that year. And despite things being tight and tough, my mom, who is Santa Claus, we all know that our moms are Santa Claus.
I don't know. I don't know. I got some stories. It could be the other way around. Like I don't know. I got some stories where my mom was probably asleep and my dad was still trying to get the brakes right on my new bike.
Now, in the case where we need things to be put together.
You need things to come together.
Yeah. When things have to be put together.
Oh yeah, your mom.
So in that case, that was like my most favorite gift.
So
now,
you still got her.
I don't have her anymore.
No, that Christmas.
Yes.
You still got her.
I got her,
everything.
And I have her in my mind. So It's funny that you asked me that, and that's what comes to mind because my mom is my rock, and she makes everything happen.
She makes it happen.
So, sacrificed, I'm sure, a lot of herself, but she made it happen, and it's something that I remember. Now, in the case of dads, if you need some stuff put together, and you got to make it come together. I think I was about 7, and maybe my sister was about 10. One year where we just seemed like we got everything. Bikes and roller skates, and the fun part was that we got to roll around in the house. So rode the bikes and roller skated and everything in the house, and so that was a favorite one as well. But I really just remember the Pretty Curls doll because my mom
made
that happen.
setting lotion and stuff.
Yes. And she was cute. You got to see yourself reflected in dolls, which
and that doesn't always
was
happen.
A long time coming.
Yes.
If you recall.
And we were thrilled about that. And then
yes.
then kind of think about where dolls have, come down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, for sure.
How far they've come and how we can see ourselves in art and anything. We can see ourselves, and how empowering is that?
It's wonderful, and I'm thinking as you said that last year I gave Fredithia's granddaughter, Ava, a Barbie, as you mentioned, but she was a Dr. Barbie.
Yes.
Listen, and I love that.
Barbie is not playing.
She's not.
Look, astronaut Barbie, like any career you want to think about, you can get with Barbie. And so I'm thankful that we, that things have come as far as they have, and that, again, we are represented. And
exactly.
I pray that continues.
I pray so too.
I pray it continues. And we won't get into heavy there, because that could go heavy real quick. We won't do that. But I gotta share something with you, too.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're talking about your dad, and I had this card out here, so I gotta read this card to you. So my dad, a couple weeks ago, I get this card in the mail. And it says, "Daughter, you're a joy to be with." Now, I gotta show you, look, I got the little emoji with the heart. It has martini glasses. That's appropriate for me because I love wine, but I like vodka too.
I understand.
You're a joy to be with. Your laugh is contagious.
It is.
Your spirit is uplifting.
It is.
You should have your own podcast. I called him and look at her. She kind of, if I were to pull my hair back in a
She looking
ponytail,
like
she kind of
you.
reminds
She
you like
is.
cute like me, right? And my red cup.
Daddy nailed that card.
Daddy,
I just want
let
to
me
say
tell you
that.
something. He wasn't looking at this card, but he nailed this card. I gotta
That is
tell you, it's so special. Like, I gotta keep this card.
You do.
Like, it's so amazing.
Forever.
Forever. Forever. I got to keep this card. But no, it's good. So I'm thinking of things that we're thankful for. I'm just like you. I'm thankful for my parents. They just won some trophies last night.
Mm-hmm.
Their church, shout out to New Jerusalem Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
They had a sneaker ball last night, or sneaker gala last night, where they were celebrating the volunteers in the church. And both of my parents received trophies. And one of them, I think my mom's was, I shouldn't say it because I don't have it in front of me, but hers was almost like the Nothing But Net Award. And Dad's was something along the same line, but I just thought it was so nice. It's always great to be thankful and to be gracious. And I know, because I'm on the phone with them, how hard they work and the things that they do in the community. And so it was just really special for them to be acknowledged for that. And so, like you, I'm thankful for family. I'm certainly thankful for you. And I'm thankful for this time that I've had with you. It's been like, this is our third weekend together in like a month and a half. We were together for homecoming.
That is true.
2 weeks later, you were here, and 2 weeks later, you're back.
Almost 2 weeks.
Almost. It's crazy, right? But it's been a fun time, and it has certainly been it's been so special to be able to spend this time with you. And so I just want to say that I'm so thankful for you, and I'm thankful that with you, I'll never want alone.
You will never want alone.
Cheers, sis.
Cheers. Mm-hmm.